Hello and welcome to my bookshop, Harrowden Books of Findon, which is without doubt the best bookshop in Findon. I'm going to show you the beauty of real books. I'm going to show you some things you didn't know about books maybe, and also some annoying things about books. We're going to start with the biggest book. This is folio size. Needs to be big because it's got maps in it. So you need lots of space for all the illustrations. Okay? Next size down. This is called quarto size. It's called quarto because the paper that makes up the pages is folded 4 times and then it's stitched into the binding of the book. Again, this sort of book needs to be fairly big because it's got illustrations. Guns, yes, a book for guys, I think this one. A nice book, but can be annoying. Reason being, you know how it is at home, you get your books on the shelf and you think, yeah, right, they're big enough, I can get the books on. Somebody gives you a book like this for a present, you think, okay, I'll put it away. You go to put it on your shelf and, oh dear, it doesn't fit. So, that's why a lot of these books are called coffee table books, because that's where they end up. Down from that, we've got the octavo size. This is a nice slipcased edition, published by the Folio Society. Very nice, very attractive. Again, lovely illustrations. This is the sort of book you buy as a present for somebody. Lovely thing, very well made. One of the things I'd like to show on this that is important is the construction of a book. These sort of books, the pages are folded and then they're actually stitched into the back of the binding. Can we get a close-up here? Just here. You can see how the pages are folded. If you get the middle, they're folded into what they're called gatherings. If you get the middle of one of the gatherings, and if you look very closely down here, you will actually see the stitches. I don't think we can pick it up on the camera, but believe me, they're there. So if you want to see whether something is a quality book, check to see, is it stitched? Very important. Okay, just put that one away. Just to show you the reverse of that. Okay, yep, an annoying book, I know. This is the reverse of what I was just saying. A lot of hardback books are now little more than glorified paperbacks, or even paperbacks with hardboards stuck onto them. Now what I mean is that the pages, if we can get a close-up here, to the straight back here, the pages are not folded and they're not stitched. They are literally just guillotined and then they're just glued at the back here. Well, what's going to happen is that over time, and not that long a time particularly, this glue is going to dry out and these pages are going to fall out. You can see already that the pages have started to go a little bit aged. So there's a lot of antiquarian books that I've got in the shop here which are several hundred years old, which will outlast this one. On from that, again this is an octavo size. Pages are folded 8 times, hence the word octavo. A nicely bound, stitched book here. This sort of book, which is a history book, needs to be this sort of size. Reason being is that it has illustrations in it which are important. If you find that you want to wait around and perhaps get hold of the paperback version of this book, I wouldn't recommend it. The reason being is that the paperback version is going to be a smaller size and the illustrations are going to be much reduced. In fact, one of the advantages of a stitched book is that the pages actually stay open much easier. With a paperback book they tend to snap closed. I'll show you that in a second because I have a paperback book here. Right. Ah, yes, here we are. Paperback version here. Sort of, right, there we are. Doesn't really want to stay open. So if you imagine a history book like that, which is a lot thicker, you're going to be struggling to see the illustrations. While we're on paperbacks, they're okay, you know, they're good to take on holiday. You can read these perfectly okay, but again, you know, you sometimes have to struggle to keep them open. An annoying aspect of that as well is the airport size paperback, which is this one. Why they call them airport books, I don't know. I mean, yes, you can buy them in airports, which seems strange because I think if you were going to get on a plane you'd want something small really, but these are horrible. They're clumsy, they don't stay open very easily, they're heavy. Again, if you've got your bookshelves nice and neatly organised and you want to put this away, you're going to struggle to get it into the shelf. So, go in the bin, I think, that one. Okay, so we're going down size. Next size down will be here we are, that's a nice poetry book. This is what they call a 12MO, the pages are folded 12 times in here. A lovely poetry book, very nicely presented. Gold edgings all around the edge here, that stops the dust from getting in the pages and keeps them nice and smart. Again, it's a stitched book, so the pages stay open nice and easily here. It's very important. On that matter, this is particularly important with certain books. Imagine a Bible that was cheaply made. Most Bibles are not. Most Bibles are very well made. Lovely thin paper, stitched binding. See how the pages stay open? Very important. So the priest can stand there and say, "We are gathered here today," etc. Book stays open. Holds it in one hand. Ideal. So okay, I'm not going to take all my clothes off. That brings us down to my favourite size of book, which is this one. Now these books were made for the traveller. In the old days, when everybody used to take trains, this is the sort of book that you would take on the train with you. It's very small. It's 527 pages in that size. If that was a modern day hardback, it would be absolutely massive. Again, it's a stitched book. You hold it open in one hand, and if you're on a train, you might be cramped up in a carriage sitting like this with somebody next to you, and you can just sit like this and you're in your own world. Turn a page. You don't need two hands, you can just, there we are, wonderful. not very much smaller than that, the Observer book. Take that with you on holiday, or wherever your hobby is. This is a book on fishing. Very useful book, very popular. Great stuff. Okay, we're getting down now to the lines of travelling. We're getting down to things like phrase books. Here we are. Here's a phrase book for your travellers. So this is a Polish traveller's phrase book and dictionary. Very useful if you happen to be travelling in Poland. Also useful if you just want to talk to your work colleagues. Okay, you're stuck for that word in Polish, you'll find it in here. You'll also find words like that in dictionaries. This is a Latin dictionary, very useful. There we are, it's a French one. So if you're in France and you want to know how to order a cup of tea, and you can say bonjour monsieur, je voudrais une tasse de thé, then God knows what you might get served up to you. Just checking, make sure I've got nothing missed there. Yep, that's okay. Here. Another dictionary. The Lilliput dictionary. Yeah, well, the amount of baggage allowance you get these days, that's probably going to be, you know, about right really for, you know, put that in with your toothbrush. Oh, what's this here? This, I think, is a bit like the other slipcase book that we showed a minute ago. This is the smallest slipcased book I've ever seen. Can we get a close up there? Yep. Hey, that's a real book. That's a real book. Surely books don't come any smaller than that. No. Or do they? Aha, yes. Ah, there's something here. Yes. Well, the book's fairly big. The box is fairly big, rather. But what have we here? It's a book. A real book. And yes, it even has writing in it. Can we get a close up on that one? So that's it. We've seen lots of different books here. There's lots of books in this shop, and it'd be great if people just came down and had a browse. They can have a coffee here. You'd be most welcome. All major credit cards accepted. Thanks for watching.